Up on the clubhouse. All right, we're live.
Do you want me to start a room
Sure.
on Clubhouse?
Go for it.
Oh, that's different. Open room, social room, closed room. Open. Okay, that's different. I haven't started a room in a bit. Okay.
Okay. We're in
Can I change the name of the room?
Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, we already got people just popped into the room already. So
Yeah, we do.
what did you call the room? Entre programmers?
I didn't call it anything. I just open room.
Okay, well, there we go. Let's see here.
Yeah, I see my friend Scott.
Wonder if you can give it. Can you give the room a title like the Entre Programmers
usually can.
podcast episode?
Can you move me up?
Yeah. Invite to speak. Yeah,
Okay.
Scott raised his hand. Yeah, this is the Entre Programmer show that we do that gets us in trouble.
That mostly gets you in trouble. It doesn't. I think you're the only one who gets in trouble.
It's gotten me in trouble more than once, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how we would do guests off of this yet. So Scott, I'm probably not going to invite you to speak. Scott's a good friend of mine. He was my accountability partner for my book. So anyway.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You can probably invite others to speak. See, test it out, see what happens.
Yeah, the problem is like bringing them into the YouTube because we're doing that through Zoom.
They don't have to.
Yeah, but we won't be able to hear them because we're not really listening to the Clubhouse audio.
Yeah, that's the problem. So
yeah.
Anyway,
it's like a listen only, basically.
Yeah, but the UI changed, and I don't know how to give it a name. Anyway, so yeah. But so how's things, guys? I was out last week.
Yeah, things are good. I did my first masterclass this week. It was on passive income. It was pretty good. I had like 200 people sign up for it. I offered it free to existing members of the membership, and then $50. So basically the offer was you can either pay $50 to join this masterclass on passive income, or you can join the membership and get it for free. I had like 12 people pay $50. So, and then it looks like around 15 people joined the membership. But then I did a platinum pitch on the webinar, and I got, looks like 3 people signed up for $1,000. And then I was going to offer the people that signed up for the membership, or just the masterclass, like a discount on platinum membership, and then we're going to resell the membership, or the platinum, or the, not the platinum, the masterclass to the list again now that it's recorded, and then offer a discount or offer for them to sign up for membership. And then the sales page will be better because now it's going to say what was covered in the passive income masterclass. So I think this will be a good tool for, and then as I do more of these masterclasses, it just makes the membership more valuable. It gives us more sale angles to be able to sell people into the membership. So that was pretty good. The only thing I missed out on this was I should have promoted it on YouTube. It would have been good to have a YouTube video talking about like a preview of the masterclass, saying like, okay, talking about passive income and saying, I'm going to break all this down this week in the masterclass. We're going to talk about every passive income source and how to generate your first $100 in passive income. That probably would have had a bunch of people signing up, but
makes sense. So was that available to members of Bulldog Mindset, and then also available for people to sign up for as a one-off, or how did that get structured?
Yeah, so if you're a member of Bulldog Mindset, you could get in for free. If you weren't a member, you had 2 options. You could just sign up for $50, or you could become a member and get in. So
okay,
yeah. And then it looks like, I don't know, I got, in the past like week, I've gotten, I think, 6 coaching client applications, and 4 of them have signed on already. So I've been I'm guessing some of it came from the master class as well. So
Nice.
yeah. So
Good deal.
trying to think what else is going on. I think that, I mean, those are the main business things.
Your
yeah,
price increase impact things much?
It, if anything, it's, I have less churn. I have more members. I think because it reduced the churn rate, because
Right.
existing members are like, do I really want to lose this
Right.
rate that I got? And then it hasn't affected the conversion of new members. So it's weird, you know, in my mind, like a $10 a month price increase seemed like a lot, but I'm going to probably go to 50 in a few months here, and it'll probably stay at that. I don't know if I'll increase it past that. I mean, I guess I'll see if, again, there's no drop off and I'm getting just as many as people sign up, maybe then I increase it to $60 a month and keep on going up and see where I start to see a drop off. But I think, I mean, $50 a month would be a good spot for it. So
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, there's like 919 members right now. Now some of them are platinum members, like so those people aren't being rebuilt, but still it's pretty good. But I get certain number of platinum signups every month, so it kind of evens out anyway. So
right, makes sense.
and then the only other thing I've got really going on is I hired this this guy on Upwork to do Google Analytics, to implement Google Analytics for me for entire Bulldog Minds, because I've had Google Analytics implemented and I've implemented, and you know, I understand like a lot about Google Analytics, but I wanted to have someone with more expertise just implement everything correctly, test everything out, and kind of be my go-to person. So I could say, because the goal is, like with this masterclass, I didn't have it in time, but what I want to be able to do is like look at a dashboard every month and say, okay, how many people signed up for a trial? How many people signed up for regular, platinum, yearly, right? How many upsells? And then where did they come from? What are the major sources that they came from?
Is this guy good?
Yeah, he's really good.
How much are you paying him?
I'm paying him like $1,500 total for the implementation and the dashboard.
Okay.
So I think his usual engagement is 2,000, but I already had a lot of Google Analytics stuff in there, and he's got like an assistant that works with him as well, who's also good. And then,
So is he going to do tag manager and all that stuff as well, or just?
yeah, I already had Tag Manager in place, but he's doing everything in Tag Manager. So, you know, goal conversions and all that, and he's setting up e-commerce in there too. And then, you know, that the idea is I'll have this dashboard, look at all this information, and then also when I run a promotion, I want to be able to implement some analytics to have like a framework where I know, okay, when we create this page, Tim, you need to just put a couple of tags here, right? Or, you know, or maybe I do it, or maybe I just even hire him to say, okay, we're going to run this affiliate promo, or we're going to run this masterclass promo. Let's get the tags in there so we can do some reporting in Google Analytics when we're done and say, okay, this many people bought, and this is, so we know the effectiveness of the whatever promotion it is. So
yep, I see AJ in Clubhouse, by the way. Hey AJ. Yeah, interesting. I'll have to see what you end up with there, because that's something that I've kind of been wanting for a while too, is just to get Google Analytics together so that I can kind of keep track of what's coming in, where people are coming from, what they're coming to, right? Because we kind of have disparate audiences within DevChat, and then get an idea of where they're headed to and what they're looking for, so that we can make sure that we're getting that to them.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have, you know, full tracking in place. And like I said, I've had partial tracking, I've had different pieces, but the tracking is useless if I'm not really looking at it and gaining data. So that's why it's like, you're going to create a dashboard, going to be able to see all this stuff, and then it's like, then I'll know one place to look to get all the information that I need. And then, yeah. So I kind of I interviewed a bunch of people for Google Analytics, like companies I just searched for, and then Upwork people. And then I found this guy. He actually knew me, which was weird, because he knows a mutual friend, Boston, who does like email marketing for e-commerce companies. I met him in Barcelona, and Boston was talking about meeting me to this guy, Guido, who's his friend. He's like, yeah, this guy, Bulldog Mindset, he retired at like 33. He's like, I met him, he's doing all this awesome stuff. And then like he saw me on Upwork and he's like, what the fuck? Like you're the dude. So pretty crazy coincidence. So
Nice.
It's got to be nice being famous someday, right?
yeah, we'll see. And being a Z-list celebrity.
There you go. Good deal.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me. What about you guys?
You get your logo redesigned, Manny?
Well, the whole website has gone through a redesign. Logo was one part of it. Color scheme and all those things are still, like, I'm still trying to figure it out, but more or less, like, it has gone through a major change. And it's like, yeah, still a work in progress. But like, it is what it is. I'm kind of sort of care about the front page, but realistically, that's not where our sales are driven from most of the times. That's just a vanity page and lead collection page more than anything else. The real work is on the lead magnet pages.
Yeah.
And the journey,
Sales
the customer journey that follows as a result of the lead magnet pages. And yeah, so yeah, I'm literally like, I'm waiting for my business verification from Facebook. And then
You're going to show John how ads are sold.
exactly.
Ads are done.
Exactly.
Yeah. John will believe it, and then John will be running ads a month later.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention I had Stephen Pressfield on my YouTube channel last night on a live stream. That was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I never thought I would actually be talking to Stephen Pressfield after, like it's crazy because I read The War of Art, like, I don't know what.
Was he
7 years ago?
Like, was it as useful to have him on the live stream? Was it fun? Was it as good as you wanted it to be?
Yeah, you'll have to watch it when you get a chance. It was good. He's actually a lot of authors, as you know, because you've interviewed a lot of them, they suck on camera, right? Because they don't have anything to say. They can write, but they can't talk. But he can talk, so he's entertaining in real life. So
nice. Yeah,
it's got to be nice to be famous.
Dude, are you on this like track today? You feeling a lack of love from different aspects of life? Is that what's going on?
No, I can give John shit, so I'm going to give John shit.
Okay. I'm going to say, I mean, yeah. There's a real easy way to get famous today. It's called being canceled. That's all you got to do. And then
been there, done that.
Yeah. You just got to do it at the big scale. Like, there's some really.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
What about you, Chuck? Any inroads with Dev Media?
Nope. So I think that's pretty much done. It's interesting because I sent some folks to them. Sentry followed up with them, and they sent Sentry back to me, which was kind of interesting.
Oh.
And so I've been talking to Sentry, and hopefully I get them lined up. I did get sponsorships lined up with a couple of other companies. One of them is hiring, and the other one is they're kind of testing the waters with Ruby. They have an admin panel that hooks in via a gem into Ruby and Ruby on Rails. So we'll see how that goes. And then, yeah, some of the other podcast stuff that kind of slowed down at the same time is starting to come back. I've got Michaela basically trained up at this point on most of the stuff that Michelle was doing. So that's coming along. And things are starting to, I'm starting to be able to hand off a lot more of that stuff. But it's been really hard to kind of balance all of that with this full-time job thing. It's a lot. So yeah, just keeping it all in the air. I've done okay at it, but I haven't done it extremely well by any means. At this point, I'm probably going to go and see if I can bring on one more person to do some of the technical expertise end of things, right? So that they can help, write show notes that make sense to programmers and help pick topics that are interesting to programmers so that I don't have to be in the middle of that. Because Michaela does okay at that, but she doesn't do great at it. And so a lot of times she's bringing stuff to me and going, is this good? Or is this not worth it? And sometimes she doesn't always pick the best topics. And so, getting back into that, but I'm starting to have people come to me and ask to be hosts on some of the shows I need hosts on. And so I'm giving them a trial run on those. I haven't picked up any new coaching folks, but I've got 2 more calls today. I've got 4 or 5 next week.
Nice.
So that's starting to pick up as well. It's funny though, because none of them are filling out the application. They're all coming in off of either bonus episodes or ads that I put up before.
What do you mean?
So they're still going to devchat.tv/next level. I never redirected it off of the scheduling page. So I need to do that.
What is devchat.tv/next level?
It goes to schedule once. So they just get it goes to the discovery call page.
So you're gonna have to be doing these 15 minutes calls with them. That's what's the plan.
Yeah, they're 30-minute calls. But yeah, hopefully I can get 1 or 2 more clients off of it. But yeah, I need to rework some more of the
Yeah, because your devchat.tv/heroes page is very cumbersome. You should just redirect it to the Google form.
Yeah, this week just has been nonstop. I have not had 2 seconds to do anything extra. That's the plan, is just to redirect it.
So nobody has filled out that application, is what you're saying?
Nope, nobody has. Not a single person.
What are you directing them to?
I still haven't had a chance to re-record those.
So it's devheroesaccelerator.com.
Yeah.
Dude, people don't remember shit like that.
No, people won't remember it. I know.
I got there with devchat.tv/heroes, but heroes is kind of hard to spell, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And okay, John, heroes is hard to spell, but how about devheroesaccelerator.com?
Yeah, that's too much.
People are gonna lose it. People are just like, they're typing on their phone. They're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I'm gonna re-record it on Monday and we'll put it in for Tuesday's episodes. And that's the plan at this point. I don't have time to get it in today, and I'm gonna be out of town this weekend. So
nice. Yeah, you need devchat.tv/hero, not even heroes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then it should just go to the Google form.
Yep.
Ideally, if you could take their email, if you could get their email opt-in, then it would be a good thing.
Yeah.
To send them to the form, but don't complicate matters. If you can't do those things, I would just do those straight up.
Yeah.
devchat.tv/hero to the form.
Yep. Yeah, that's the plan. At this point, that's what we're looking.
Send out an email.
Yeah.
But only to the form. Don't send out the email to anything else.
Yeah.
Only to the form, and use the same copy as you would in the call out, in the call to action copy. Don't try to change the copy.
Yep.
Use same exact benefit driven email. And you have maybe 40-50 clicks on that.
Yep.
Even if you get 4 or 5 people to apply, that'll be worth it.
Yep, absolutely.
So how many calls did you do this week?
6.
You did 6 calls this week. What was the outcome of those? Did you invite any of them?
I have 6. So I still have 2 more. So I did 4.
Okay. What was
one of the guys was just not a good fit at all. So we just
candid. Okay.
Yeah. The other call that was this morning, he actually was just interested in being a host on the Elixir podcast. And so so we panned that. The other guys, I pitched them. I talked to them. They sounded like they were a terrific fit as far as my being able to help them, as far as getting them where they wanted to go. I gave them the link, and I haven't heard anything back. So
What do you mean you gave them the link?
So we talked. I was like, hey, here, we'll have to talk to my wife. I asked them to,
Both
make
of
a
them
down
said
payment,
they have
hold
to
their
talk
spot.
to their wives.
You got to be like, look, all right, let's talk to her.
I should do
Get her
that.
on
I
the
should.
phone. Let's talk to her.
Here's the thing:
your
30
wife's
minutes
name?
is too. 30 minutes.
I should do
Then
that.
you're
I should
like,
just be like, go get her.
listen, sweetie. You hear us, sweetie? Listen. Your husband needs to make some more money so he can buy you a Gucci purse, okay? So
Yeah, that would go over.
Totally. That's just an excuse, man, most of the time.
Yeah, it is.
The problem is 30 minutes is not enough time to build value and to position the offer properly. And you should not try to pitch in the 30-minute calls. You should try to end the 30-minute calls in 15 minutes by saying, okay, you're interested. All right, let's schedule a real deep dive and understand where you are, what your challenges are, what your frustrations are, and how I can help you. Because what you're doing now, you're in the limbo of like a 15-minute call versus an hour-long. Usually sales calls for when you're selling $1,000 plus product, especially recurring, it's going to need you 60 minutes of time to sell that, to convince them that they need this value. It's a sliding scale. I would not compare this to what John's offer is, because John has already done all of that work on his YouTube videos. So he doesn't need to do the selling or creation of value at this point, right? All of that has been done in his videos. So people who come to him have already pre-sold themselves on that. In your case, that's not the case. So you have to build the value in their minds. And that means you have to spend the time with them for the time being. And it's not going to happen in 30-minute calls. It's just some will take it, but you're going to go through so many people to find those few people that you're just going to, have to have so many calls rather than having a few select calls who are highly qualified and showing them what's possible for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, 30 minutes is not a good strategy. I would do the 15-minute calls and tell them, okay, let's schedule a time next week to talk in detail. And right there on the phone, schedule the call.
Okay.
Right there on the phone, say, okay, let me send you the schedule once link, or let me send you the link right now. Let's book it so that we have it on our calendar, and we can, we can talk more in detail as to what all is entailed and things like that. Because what will happen in a 30-minute call when you're trying to do the pitch, you will basically, what I'm assuming what happens is, you start the conversation and the person's like, okay, so how does the program work? How much does it cost? And before you know it, now you're basically selling on features and price,
and not on benefits,
not the value itself. And the person is like, oh shit, $500, $1,000, so much money. I don't know what I'm getting out of it. It's not even clear to me. And before you know it, they're gone. And they have to talk to their quote unquote wife. Even if they don't have a wife, they're like, I need to talk to my wife. Right.
I need to get married first.
Then
I need to talk to my wife. So.
Yeah, they're like, you're like, oh yeah, let's talk to your wife. He's like, oh, but I haven't gotten married yet.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk next year? I'm definitely looking.
Yeah.
It's good. Also, like something I learned from Dan Locke is kind of to take the approach of like a doctor, right? Trying to assess the patient.
Right.
So, instead of like assuming that they're going to buy, instead of assuming they're a good fit, you're kind of like, okay, so tell me about your problem. And then you're kind of, I don't know. I think I might be able to help you with that. I don't know though. What how serious are you about this? It's going to take a lot of work to do this. Are you, what I mean? So you're basically like evaluating them. Yeah, qualifying them,
right?
And then you get to the point where you after you do that, then you start talking about, okay, well, if I was able to solve your problem, I'm not saying that I'm I'm taking you on, right? And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm not saying that you're getting a slot, but if I was to fix this, if I was able to help you to do this thing or this thing that
Mhm.
you said, or solve this problem,
Mhm.
then how much money do you think that would save you every month? How much money do you think you'd be able to
Mhm.
make additionally per month, right? Like asking that kind of question, right?
Right.
So that they have that idea in their head. And then, if they need some help with the math, you help them with the math to figure out, well, it sounds like, wouldn't that be, like an extra $1,000 a month? That's, so that they have the math. Once they have the math in their head, then
Right.
you say, well, I could do this. I could, fit you in. And then basically then you present them the offer, and then and then it's kind of like now they're pre-framed for it, where it's like, okay, they're already thinking, okay, they're selected,
Mhm.
you're gonna this is the outcome that they're looking at, and you have to really like make them feel like, what would their life be like if they had this outcome. So you
Right.
kind of have to say, okay, so now imagine you had this, imagine you were this architect now, or you had this blog or YouTube channel, and you had
Right.
passive income coming in from this thing, what would your life be like? So they kind of have that preview, and
Mhm.
then and now like their hesitation is much less, because
Right.
that it's a bargain to pay $500 for that,
Mhm.
to get that. Whereas, because it's all about the what is anchored against, and what the perceived value is of that. So
Yep. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. I think you should not do 30-minute sales calls.
Okay.
Don't do 30-minute sales calls. Do a 15-minute call, end the call, get them on your hour-long call, and just like what John's saying, build value, like get them to build
Mhm.
value in their minds.
Right.
There are different ways to build value. You can show them the pain, you can show them the heaven, the hell, and let them find their own challenges through all of that,
Right.
and qualify them through the process and see what happens. So a lot of different sales methodologies out there, but you have to give yourself the time to let them believe that they want it, let them create, like they have to sell themselves. You
Yeah.
can't really
Yeah.
sell themselves most of the times. So whether you like do what John's talking about, whether you do heaven, hell, whatever it is, it's all going to be that they have to be sold on buying your product, or buying, or they have to be sold. They have to be so excited about it that they will be
Yeah.
like, all right,
They're selling themselves. Exactly.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And
So
that's the thing, is like, you never fight against anything that they're saying. Like if they say,
Mhm.
oh, that's too expensive, you say, yeah, that sounds like it might be too expensive for you. Then it doesn't sound like you're ready for this right now, that you don't
Right.
really want to achieve this goal. Like, what I mean?
Yep.
Like, then they push back and say, no, I do want to achieve it. Like,
Yep.
no, I don't know. It doesn't sound like you're committed to this thing. I
Yep.
mean, think of it too. It's like, it's all just creating the value, right? Because if they see the
Yeah.
value, it's just like, not that you should like do hard sales, high pressure sales, like a timeshare. But if you've ever gone to a timeshare presentation, it's a good learning experience, because they basically, you come in there trying to get to freeload off of them, and then they get you to drop 20 grand, right? And it's like, why?
Mhm.
But how do they do it? How do you get from going in there to get free Disney World tickets, thinking, haha, these guys are suckers, to you being the sucker and dropping 20 grand? The way that they make that transition is, one of the very first things that they do is they say, so how many times a year do you go on vacation with your family? Right. And then they're like,
Yep.
so how much, if you go, you go like 3 times a year, okay, so the hotel cost is this, and then
Right.
and then all of this, right? And so they add up all these things. So then by that time they're like, okay, well, this is what you're paying per year, and then if you bought this timeshare, this is what you'd be paying for your, much better, and you'd be getting better accommodations. You like the room that you
Right.
have, like that
Mhm.
whole thing. So by that time, that like, it's a no-brainer to you, in this. And again, I'm not saying to use necessarily these tactics, but they're painting the wrong picture. You paint
Right.
they're painting a false picture. Instead, you paint a true picture
Right.
of what their life will be like, because it
Yeah.
really will. Because you really have to believe in your coaching that
Mhm.
it's going to improve their life, that they're going to be able to
Yep.
make more money or achieve their goals. And then as long as you paint that picture, then it's a no-brainer, right? It's just like anytime that I don't know. I mean, someone's pitching me, or I'm interviewing someone that's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what the amount is. If I feel like I can make more money than the amount, then sure, I'm gonna do it every time. So
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Looks like John's been trained in the fine art of selling home share.
Timeshares.
Yes, I'm quitting and I'm becoming a timeshare salesman. So
You would do very well.
yeah, I want to be the mean guy one that comes in after you're like you waste the nice guy's time and is like, yeah, I don't know why you're here, dude. Like I don't know why you're wasting all of our time and shit. Like, we've given you such a good deal, and I mean, I don't know why you're here. Maybe you should just go off to Disney World. Like, oh, let me just go and I'll get your paperwork so we can get you checked out of here and get you out of here. I'll be that guy. Right?
Yeah, there you go.
But it's interesting to study,
Yeah.
again, like I said, not that you should use those high pressure techniques, but the idea is that they're creating that value in your head, and then it becomes a no brainer. And because you're literally going from I'm freeloading, taking Disney World tickets from you to I'm dropping 20 grand on something worthless. So
yeah, well, maybe I had to go get pressured into.
Maybe now Chuck needs to go to.
I haven't been for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe Chuck needs to go to Orlando and book a timeshare there just to see.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna come back and be like, I bought 3 timeshare.
Yeah.
He's like, instead of
such a rip off.
Instead of spending $2,000 on sales course, I just decided I'm gonna go do a real sales training and get sold. And then I'll try to use the same techniques on other people. So if I can be sold on $20,000 worth of timeshare, I'm sure I can sell $20,000 worth of coaching.
Yeah, there we go. Now I have to sell the coaching in order to pay for the timeshare.
That's one way to motivate yourself.
It's funny. I had a coaching client last night. He signed up. He just paid the invoice, right? We get on the coaching call last night, and he just rambles for an hour. I'm asking directing questions. I'm like, okay, so what are your goals? What are you trying to do? He brings up some websites. He starts talking about the websites. I'm like, all right, like I get, like, I was like, we only have like 15 minutes left. So I just want to make sure that you're getting your value here. So like, what kind of goal? I'm still not quite clear what you want to do, and like, and he just continued to ramble. So it was the weirdest fucking thing ever. And he even acknowledged it. He was like, this must be the strangest coaching call that you've ever had. And I was like, yeah, you win. It's like, I mean, it's like, it's your $1,500, but
sometimes people just need to be heard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just want to be heard, and just from talking, they get their own ideas. They don't need.
Yep.
Yeah. Manny, you got ejected from
dropped
the
off
Clubhouse, I think.
Clubhouse.
Yeah, I don't like. I keep going there, but I'm like, what's the use of doing this? Because nobody can really.
Yeah, AJ said the echo was pretty bad between us too. So
is it? The echo.
It must be picking up crosstalk between us.
That's weird. I don't know how it would, because we're speaking into a mic.
Yeah, but most of the time in Clubhouse, when you have multiple people on stage, people take turns
muting their mic.
Yeah. And he said that most of the echo is coming from Manny, but even then, yeah, most of the time everybody mutes when somebody else is talking.
Because my speaker is the big speaker, not.
Oh, you have an external speaker for
your
phone?
I don't have an earphone right now. That's probably the reason why.
Yeah.
So maybe this will help.
Maybe
the echo was killing everyone's experience.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway.
I mean, you're muted now in Clubhouse, so.
Yeah. But
here's a business idea. Come up with a way to make it so that you can simulcast to Clubhouse. I think that would be I don't know how to do it, but if you can solve that problem, I think people would pay money for that right now, right? Like, think about how many people would pay $100 a month for that.
Yep. Yeah, we also have Regis. I'm not sure exactly how to say his name, but
Regis, yeah.
He doesn't follow, or none of us follow him. So anyway, but yeah, As far as anything else that I've got going on goes, it's just training, just getting on top of all the podcast production stuff with Michaela and stuff like that. And then just making sure that I'm serving the people that are signed up for the coaching. So,
Dude, you got to sell the coaching because
yes,
you have
I
two
do.
people right now. You need to sell it hard.
Yes.
What I mean by sell it hard is you need to get aggressive with your call. Like, how many calls do you had now so far?
A couple dozen.
Yeah. By this time, if couple dozen, and how many of them did you think were solid candidates for it?
Probably 6 or 7.
Okay.
7?
Maybe 10.
I mean, you've got a good filter, and
Yeah.
your form has a good filter, but no one's filled out the form, right?
Yeah.
Because your form, those are good questions. Like that is going to filter out people who aren't serious.
Yeah.
10 people out of which 2 signed up, or the 2 other than the 2 signed up, the 10 people?
Yeah. 10 people out of which 2 signed up.
So yeah, your closing rate is really bad right now.
Yeah.
For highly qualified candidates, you should be batting like 30, 40, 50%.
Mhm.
Yeah, but he could be batting 30%. There's too much. I mean, he's within standard deviation if he's got 2 out of 10.
Possibly, but given the price point, it's a no-brainer price point at a point where it's like you should be batting at a higher. I think it was $1,000 a month. I would say, yeah, you bat 30%. When like he gave the discount of $500 a month, you should be batting at almost 50% at that point.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is it's all about the value creation, right? Like we're talking about,
Exactly.
because it could be just as hard to sell someone on $5 a month. You know what I mean? Like
That is
I literally had a guy that emailed me and tried to get a refund on his $1 trial. Right. And I was like, no, dude. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, like, if someone doesn't perceive the value is there, they will like file a credit card dispute for $1.99. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's like, so whether it be, I mean, you can sell them just as easy on the $4,000 a month, depending on if they're qualified, right? If they're like someone, the difficulty with something that's a higher ticket is there's less qualified people. But anyone who's got a business making, $2 million a year, like a $5,000 a month expense is not a big deal if they believe that it has the value. So
yeah, no, I agree, and that's why I'm saying, like, you have to improve your sales skills dramatically right now.
Yeah.
And getting more people in the funnel is not your problem. Improving your sales skills is the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because you already had 20 calls. 20 calls is a lot, and even 10 qualified people, that's also a pretty good number. So ideally, we would like to see more people in that.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
At this point, so if you have another 6, 7 calls or 10 calls over the next few days, yeah.
Yep.
You need to find a way to sell them. Let me see. I might have some training that I can send it over to you, that you can sales training that I can send over to you. That might be useful because that will give you a framework to go by. Because without the sales training, you don't really have a sales methodology right now.
No, I don't. I'm still figuring some of that out.
It's not possible to do that. In fact, this might be the problem with your sponsorships, just the same, like being able to sell sponsorships.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a sales methodology or a system or a script, you're just floundering in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
You're just hoping to make that sale.
Yeah.
And that will always be a challenge. You're much better off having a sales system, a process, a script, a methodology, like whatever it is. Ideally, a script. You need a script. Doesn't have to be hardcore step like every time script, but you need a script, and potentially you need a script for selling sponsorships just the same.
Right.
Because then you can change it and see what works, and yeah, Dan Locke stuff is actually pretty good too, or Grant Cardone's sales stuff. One thing about it too, I would say, is that you could also, I mean, if they sign up via the form, you can soften them up with an email too ahead of time before your call, so that you kind of pre-frame things before the call. I think that could be useful as well.
Okay.
Have you done any sales trainings, Chuck? Any
Not
sales
any formal
courses?
training.
Sales
No.
courses? Dude, you're in the sales business, in case you forgot.
I haven't forgotten. I get
Yeah,
reminded almost every day.
Or in case you didn't realize.
Yeah, that would be good to actually look into that, because yeah, becoming an expert in sales would be a perfect skill set for you to possess.
Yes. Yeah, that would really help.
That is like, seriously, that might be the most important skill you need right now.
Right.
Because
How do I know if it's sales training that's good?
I'll send you some that I have, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah, Brian Tracy's stuff is really good. Like I said, Grant Cardone, Dan Locke stuff is surprisingly good, even though people knock Dan Locke.
Sam
I still
Owens
use.
stuff is really good.
Yeah.
So Sam Owens is good. Selling sponsorships is a different game than selling mastermind. But seriously, man, there is no like, you are selling high ticket, whether it's sponsorships or masterminds, and you really need to get good on phone sales.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to be assuming. Otherwise, you're going to you have a very leaky funnel right now. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Because reaching out to sponsors and getting them on the phone is one thing, but closing them on the phone, that's where you can make the real difference. You can go from closing 1 in 10 to 4 in 10, and that just changes your business forever.
Yeah.
So I would totally.
I've read some of Brian Tracy's stuff.
Reading books is one thing, but at this point,
But-
you need a system. You need a sales
Yeah, I need
system.
somebody to walk me through.
I'll send you a login to one of the trainings I have that I really like. That's a good enough for selling masterminds. That's like probably the best training I know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to selling sponsorships, you might need to look up online and see what people are doing, because there's probably someone who's figured out the sponsorship game, how to sell sponsorships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's there those people exist. They've been existed for a long time. It's not just podcasts, right?
Right.
Sponsorships. It's what you want to find is someone who sells magazine ads, because
Right.
those guys,
Radio ads and TV ads.
yeah, those guys. They are. I mean, my uncle used to do some of that. And I mean, he would just like dial, and just like, and he was
Yep.
good. Like he would sell, like, because they got to basically, I mean, this is a challenge they have. Like he worked for a golf magazine, and they have like so many pages every month they
Mhm.
need to sell. So he has to go and call up these companies and sell all those slots on, unsolicited, right? Like he's just cold calling them. And then they got to fill it up every single month starting over, right? I mean, some people, they have repeat clients, but for the most part they're starting over. So there's guys out there that have that ability that could train you on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you're talking about really isn't that different. I mean, I have so many spots per podcast episode that
Exactly.
I've
Yeah.
got to fill. And yeah, I'll have some repeat people. And honestly, the repeat people are the ones that are going to have success with the podcast sponsorship.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll look into some of these and see what makes sense as far as, but this is definitely worth the investment, is getting some training on some sales stuff, and then just putting in, half hour to an hour every morning just to level up on it.
hell yeah, man, you need to learn
Oh,
how
yeah.
to sell sponsorships.
I need to learn how to sell sponsorships and the coaching, and yeah, just nail it.
You need to learn how to sell high ticket.
Yeah.
You have to get,
Well,
like,
100%. The other thing is that I've been watching a lot of the stuff that's going on out there, and I feel like it's just a matter of time before I get canceled again. And so, going out and selling sponsors is good, and I feel like that's a place I definitely should spend some focus. And I should be, but I also feel like I need to be, filling in coaching or, some other form of something else so that if I do get canceled, that I'm not up a creek like I was last time.
Maybe you could like talk to sponsors and offer them a service where you can give them
Help them get canceled.
No, help them seem more woke. You can like you can be
If you want to get so here's the new marketing dimension.
Here are all the things I believe. Compromise on all of them and you will seem woke.
So here's the new marketing opportunity, the cancel opportunity. I will come into your business. I will get you canceled from everything, and that will get you so much publicity that your business will blow up.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
Basically, that's what you're going to sell.
I could promise that, and I could deliver on it 100%.
The cancel cash system is what you're going to say.
Yeah.
And you're going to sell the cancel cash system. Every person.
Okay, you're not helping. Okay.
Actually, Ryan Holiday did a book about this. It's called "Marketers Are Liars," and that's exactly.
Trust me, I'm lying.
Yeah, trust me, I'm lying. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm thinking of Seth Godin's book, but yeah, but yeah, trust me, I'm lying is basically what you just said, Manny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my homework is.
You need to urgently get good at phone sales. I will send you the training. If you do that training, you will get good at it. You really have to practice that shit. And the beautiful thing is you have so many qualified people coming in through the door that you can do that.
Yep.
Very easily, very quickly.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's a matter of practice. But the problem you're running into right now, you're practicing in the wind, as in you don't have a structure to practice against.
Right.
It's like going.
I don't know what to change. So
it's like going to the tennis court or whatever it is and just hitting the ball from one side to the other and hope that somehow that practice is going to actually get you results. That's never going to happen. You need a structure. You need a format to weigh yourself against. So you need a massive transformation in your sales systems, and that can basically change your business forever. I am 100%. Like, I think all the stuff you do, ultimately, the failure point in your business is in your sales systems.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if I think about it, like you got a great product, as in the podcast, you deliver the content, it's out there, people are getting value from it, you got millions of people listening, you got sponsorships that you do sign up, or let me put it this way, you have a way to reach out to sponsorships, you found a way to build find those sponsors and reach out to them, but where you fail is being able to consistently convert those sponsors into actually pay, like into real money.
Right.
So this is the choke point in your business right now, your sales skills.
Well, the other thing is that related to this is that I find that in areas or companies or with people that tend to get sold a lot, right, where they get pitched to frequently by sophisticated people with sophisticated sales systems, those sales are harder to land, right? Because you have to do things that the other folks aren't doing. I'm not in that position, right? I'm not in that position because most of the people that I'm talking to sell coaching to, they're not being pitched this way. Most of the people that I'm talking to at the service providers that are going to be sponsoring the podcast, they're also not being pitched this way, right? The most sophisticated they get with pitches are, hey, do you want to come sponsor this big conference? And the answer is usually yes or no, right? And the yes or no is it's in our budget or it's not, right? We can prioritize it in with the other stuff we prioritized or we can't. And so, again, it really just comes down to what we're talking about here with, can I convince them that the value is there for them enough to capture some of those marketing dollars in lieu of something else they'd spend it on?
The thing, you almost have to treat this as a game. We're full circle basically from where we were a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago, exactly, this is the conversation we were having.
Yeah.
We were talking about you building your sales system, your sales pipeline. and you building exactly February of 2020, we were talking about building your pipeline for getting sponsorships so you can sell, so you can have more sponsorships coming your way and systemizing all of that. And here we are a year later. What is the challenge that was existent a year ago or 2 years ago and still exists today is the gap between lead and customer, lead and TAM,
Yeah, but
lead
the
and sales.
difference is that what we're calling out now is the thing that I don't think we realized a year ago, and that is that when I landed a sale, and it's still the truth now, when I land a sale, I still do not know what I said in the ones that I land that makes the difference between the ones that I don't land.
Yeah, you
still don't know. I could not tell you.
You have you don't have a system, and that's a really bad system.
Right.
And when you don't have a system, it's like, well, I'm gonna refrain from talking about that on this, but it's like a part of life where initially people assume that they can just go and wing it and somehow things will work, but that winging just doesn't work. Initially you need to get trained in a system and then you can wing it, because the system initially will get you a lot of clarity, a lot of understanding of this is how you start the conversation, this is how you build the conversation, this is how you close the conversation. All of those aspects of sales conversation, they apply to various different aspects of life. So that's really crucial. Like you have an urgent need for a sales system for every dimension of your business. For you're selling high ticket, you're not selling low ticket, and you don't know how to sell high ticket. And this is a lesson for everyone who's listening, who's watching out there, who's thinking about business. Like no matter what you're going to be doing, whatever you're doing, at some point you're going to have to sell.
Yep.
At some point you're going to have to learn to sell, whether you're going to sell through webinar, whether you're going to sell through a landing page, a sales page, whether you're going to sell through phone, whether you're going to sell through email to a sales page, whether you're going to sell through application to a phone call. Somewhere in this pipeline of your business, you're going to have to learn to sell. And you cannot expect someone out there, or you cannot expect that will magically happen. You actually have to learn to sell. You actually have to learn to sell. There's no way out of that shit.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So do it, man. I will send you some training. But in the meanwhile,
sounds good.
You can look up online whatever John was talking about. John probably has access to some trainings as well, so he can probably hook you up.
Yeah, I've got Dan Locke's stuff, and
I went and looked. I couldn't find any, at least paid training from Dan Locke. He had a bunch of blog posts that I found, but that was about it.
You guys can probably talk about this offline.
Yeah,
I would think it's probably better to talk about it offline, see if there's anything that you would find value in. And I'll also talk to you offline about stuff that I could possibly help you out with here. I don't want to publicly talk about names and figures and all the people's trainings that are available that you could potentially use. And I believe like once you get used to doing sales, and trust me, I've done a lot of sales. John knows, God knows how much sales I've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, sales is a part of you have to quota yourself. This is a quota we were talking about a year ago. We're talking about it all over again now. You need a quota. You need a quota of like making 10 sales calls. You need 10 sales calls for your sponsorships every month. You need 10 sales calls for your mastermind every month. Whatever that number is. I don't know. How many sales calls did you do last month for
sponsorships? Oh, no, I didn't do any last month.
Dude.
Because I was trying to make the developer media thing work.
Okay. How many sales calls did you do in January or December for sponsorships?
I did a couple, not many.
November?
Same. I mean, really, yeah.
Okay. So here is the end to all the craziness in your business.
But
10 sales calls.
Yeah,
Huh?
but the realistically, I didn't think that I was going to be able to land anything because of the way that things were with the economy and stuff like that.
That's
But
always going to be the case.
yeah, at this point, I just need to be doing it. And honestly, if I had been getting on sales calls and they'd been telling me we still don't have marketing budget, then I would have known when to follow up. Is the realistic thing. It's my fault. I mean, honestly, I should have been doing them.
You need only one. You need a one-page tracker. A one-page tracker that's pasted in the front of you on your wall somewhere, which is number of sales calls booked, number of sales calls booked, or number of sales calls done. Whatever, simple as it is, that's exactly all you need. Because if you cannot track your number of sales calls, and if you cannot hit 10 sales calls a month, how will money appear in the business?
Well,
You just
10 is probably not even enough, right?
No.
Like every good sales,
I could do more than 10.
It's sales is just math. It's just math, right?
Yeah.
So here's the math of sales. It's real simple, right? It's this: if you have no sales skills at all, and you literally just go up to people and say, "Hey, will you buy my thing?" Some of them will say, "Yes, I'll buy your thing. I like your head. I like the shape of your head. Yes, I'm sold. You know, I listened to your podcast. Yes, I'll buy whatever you want me to buy."
Can you invite Antonio up on the panel here? Let me see if I can.
I can. One thing that we won't be able to hear him on the YouTube. That's the problem.
Dang.
Yeah, unless we switch our main communication to the Clubhouse.
Yeah, to Clubhouse, but you can't record it.
Yeah.
Well, we can still have this going. We're just turn our audio to the. We just have to put headphones in on our phones. You see what I'm saying? Like if you're listening and talking to Clubhouse, and then our microphones are picking us up and our cameras are picking us up.
Antonio's team does high ticket sales for their sponsorships. Basically, they are finding sponsors for YouTubers.
But basically what I was saying is this: is it comes down to this, okay? If you just go up to random people with no sales ability at all, maybe 1 in 1,000 people like will buy, right? Let's say we don't know the numbers because you don't know it until you test it. And then if you have some sales skills, maybe the sales skills is your ability to take that number from 1 in 1,000 to 1 in 100 or 1 in 50 or 1 in 10, right? And so and then the other part of that is the offer, right? The offer also will adjust that as well, right? That's probably the most powerful part of it as well. If you have a good enough offer, it doesn't even matter if you have good sales skills or whatever, right? You're going to have a high percentage. So in order to determine the math of it, you have to have a pipeline and track it. So you have to say, because you have to get to a point where you say, okay, with my current offer, with my current sales ability, I know that every 10 leads I get into the beginning of my funnel, I get 1 sponsorship sale. And I know that math because I've done this for 1,000 leads, and out of 1,000 leads, I got 100. So it's a 10%. So then you do the math backwards and you can say, okay, I have 4 slots to fill. In order to fill those 4 slots, that means that I need to run 10 sales calls a day or whatever it ends up being, right? Maybe it's 10 sales calls a month. It's more probably like, it's probably a lot more than you think, because I worked with a guy. I'm actually a tech founder or an advisor on a startup called Health Hero, and I worked with the founder on that, and he had because he would sell basically to hospitals and different, trying to sell this service. And he literally, I mean, this is pretty insane, but when I knew him, I went and saw his process, but he had a VA that would send him 100 emails a day. And he had 100 companies come into his funnel every single day. He would blast out 100 emails. He would get a certain number of responses, and then he would basically book like 10, 15 phone calls a day in order to sell 1 or 2 a week.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
Uh-huh.
I mean, that was the thing. And so imagine if he thought that he could contact 10 companies a week, he would make zero sales. He would make zero sales for months at a time. You know what I mean? Because that's what the math was, those numbers. But he got to that point when he figured out what the mathematics was on it, and he said, "Okay, I need to get 100 leads a day." You know, I mean, probably you don't need 100 leads a day, but it's probably 5 times more than what you think it is.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. Well, and the other thing is from when we were doing this a year ago, I still have that list of 1,000 or so people that I could reach out to. So I can start with them and
Exactly.
easily start. I can get this rolling pretty fast. And the other thing is I can get Michaela or, hire another person to just go grind leads. And then I can start doing outreach just like this.
And you need to categorize your leads, just like Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, get the good leads, right? Coffees for closers. But you need to have it where, because we don't want to confound your mathematics on the sales.
Right.
What you don't want to do is say, you get the sponsor that was a company that loves you anyway, that was following you, that reached out to you. And then you're like, oh, that's a close. No, it's not. It's a close, but it's not a close. That's warm leads, right? So you got to have like your charting. Okay, the thing you want to know is
reached
like
out to me
leads.
Already, sponsor other stuff. I found them on Product Hunt because they look like people who are in the other category. Yeah.
And then by doing that, also you'll also figure out who are your best leads, and then you can just focus on those, what characteristics of companies that are the ones that are going to say yes, because there'll be some demographics, some characteristics that will emerge that's your customer, right? So and like I know it from my coaching clients, I know which ones are going to buy and which ones are not, just by by some of the, like, knowing about them. I'm like, okay, the purchasers, these are not purchasers. So
yeah, we just had Devin Rose join us on Clubhouse too.
So what you need to do, Chuck, here is actually just have one number tracking. Just track one number. Seriously, it'll change your life. One number, which is number of sales calls you're booking or number of sales calls you're doing.
Right.
Number of sales calls booked is probably an easier metric. Just take one. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with 1,000 different metrics. Once you get good at that one metric and you can train yourself to improve that one metric to a certain level, then you can add other metrics to this equation.
Yep.
In the sense, you track one big metric. You can have a spreadsheet with all the other data, but you try to improve that one metric right now.
Right.
Which is number of sales calls done.
Yep. Yeah.
Just improve that. Go from 5 sales calls last month to 10 sales calls this month to 20 sales calls next month till you hit capacity.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going through Sam Owens' stuff a while ago, and one of the things he was talking about, like early on in his phase when he was trying to sell his services, there was a phase in his business where basically he opened up his calendar, and the whole calendar was filled with appointments. Sales call. Basically 30 hours of sales call in a week is what he was doing. That's like 120 hours of sales calls in a month. That's 120 sales calls in a month. No, like, how good do you get if you do 100 sales calls a month? Within a 2 or 3 month period, you're just going to be like converting like crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when your business is on a completely different trajectory. But you need to measure and track one metric: number of sales calls booked or number of sales calls done. One of those. Booked. Go with booked.
Yeah, because that by maybe improving that number,
easy to track
the other numbers. So,
and that's totally within your control.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's true.
And not totally, but fairly big enough number within your control. Not always within your control, but with enough grind, with enough hustle, with enough reach out and outreach and all those things, you can target a certain. So March is coming up. What's your target? I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire for whole of March now.
30
sales calls booked.
Yep.
So
for sponsorships.
For sponsorships.
Yeah.
All right.
So the question is working backward from there. If you're going to get 30 sales calls booked, how many leads do you need to contact? And that's probably 300. It would be my rough guess.
That's the number that came into my head too.
Yeah. And how many potential sales would you make? We don't know because we don't know the conversions. But if you
But we
did
don't know.
10% conversion, that's 3 people. That's 3 sponsorships.
Yeah, but the reality is that most of the sponsors, I mean, so the way the sponsorships work is typically if they pick up JavaScript Jabber, they will typically also pick up React and or Angular and Vue, right? They'll typically pick up a handful of other shows.
Okay.
And so out of the 30, if I can get 5 or 6, I will probably fill a good chunk of what I need.
Well, whatever it is, you know the value. Like the way this will work is initially maybe you start tracking 1 metric, and then you start tracking 2 metrics, then you start tracking 3 metrics, and over time you get good at it. Like right now, you don't know the value of your sponsor. You don't know the value of a lead. You don't know the value of your customer. You don't have those numbers to be able to critically like go after these numbers like a maniac.
Well,
If you knew every call was worth $200 or $500, you would have a different business today.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, because the thing is, like, the number one rule of business that I have is find something that works and do it over and over again. It's the simplest secret to business. And so if you can find a way to get one sponsor, and whatever process you use to do that, you can just repeat that over and over again. It might mean contacting 100 people, and then you do 10 calls or whatever it is, you get one sponsor, but that can be just photocopied over and over again until you achieve the desired result. And it's so funny because it's like, that's all you have to do in business is figure out one system that works and then scale that system up, right? It's the same thing. I was on that passive income masterclass. I was like, you guys want a simple way to just build a business that's a no-brainer, that is guaranteed to work, that you're going to get passive income? I was like, write a book and put it on the Kindle store. If you write a book on some topic that you research, like a small book, like 50 pages, I guarantee you'll make at least $50 a month selling that book on there. Even as a no-name author, like some people stumble across it on that topic, you'll make $50 a month. Well, then do 10 of them and you have $500 a month. Do 100 of them, you're $5,000 a month. You quit your job, you're making $5,000 a month, right? So 100 books, that's no easy task. But if you just repeat that over time, in 2 years, you could write 100 little ebooks that are 50 pages long, research them on different topics. And what's going to happen if you do that is you're not going to make $5,000 a month. You're going to make like $15,000 or $20,000 a month, because most of those books will make $50 a month, but a couple of them will make $2,000-$3,000 a month because they'll become big hits. And then there'll be a synergistic effect where your other books will sell because of it. So it's like anyone could do that business model, right? Anyone literally listening could do that business model right now if they want to do it and make money. They're not going to make a fortune. They're not going to make millions of dollars from it, but you can make a couple $1,000s a month of income in 2 years of passive income if you really want to do it. And because the market's already saturated, it doesn't even matter if everyone listening to this entire podcast all does it. Every single one of them can make $5,000 a month. So, but the whole point behind it is that if you just find one thing that works, the simplest thing that works, and then you repeat it over and over again, there you go.
Yep.
So I want to add to this another kind of perspective on business or entrepreneurship in general, which is the trap of operations and fulfillment. What I mean is the trap of product creation versus sales, right? Selling is the ultimate job of your business at this stage of your business. You really cannot escape that reality today. So when you're going to write those books, you're also going to sell those books. You're going to do this. You're going to have to sell. And over time, that sales will percolate into every area. Like what I'm kind of trying to say is that sales is the lifeblood of your business. And if you, as the founder of a business that's at this stage in a few $100,000 a year, you should be spending at least, I would say, 40 or 50% of your time on sales. And I'm assuming in your case, that's more like 10% of the time right now, if that.
Right.
You're mired in fulfillment. You're mired in product creation, which is cool. but that will not let you scale the business at all. It just keeps you stuck. And that's true for so many people out there who are quote unquote the creators, like the YouTubers of the world, the podcasters of the world, the bloggers of the world, all these people, they love to create, they love to do things, but unless sales becomes a dominant part of their day-to-day life, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So this is like so crucial. Like most people just want to hide their heads in sand, like, just put their head in the sand and do the creation part of the things. But if you want a high growth business, you need to focus on sales and marketing. There is no other way to grow the damn business early on.
Yeah.
Sales and marketing, sales and marketing, sales and marketing. You have to spend so much time on sales and marketing. So don't run away from sales and marketing. You almost have to put it on your calendar as the most important thing in your business.
Yep. No, I hear you.
So how many sales calls will you book by next week when we are on the call again? Because 30 is a big number for the whole week, but maybe you need, or for the whole month, but you need a smaller number for this week just to get started.
Well, and that's the thing too, is I said 30 for March, and next week is March.
Exactly. Next week starts March.
Damn it. Let me see if I can paint myself a little more tightly into this corner.
Uh-huh.
I'll have 5 sales calls, either done or booked.
No. It's only one. It can't be both. It's only one metric.
Oh, right. Booked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I've completed the calls, they still count as booked.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Booked
they got booked and then they got done.
Yeah, booked includes,
Right.
well, booked is all that matters. Done or not done, who cares?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
of course I care, but I'm just saying, like, there's only one metric I want, like, you need to follow in order to keep yourself in sanity. Like,
yeah,
you
but
literally
you realize I'm going to take that big long list that I have, and I'm going to invite them all.
Do whatever you need to do.
There you
It's
go.
good enough.
That's fine.
That's great. Do
Yeah.
whatever you need to do.
I'll have.
You need that number painted, written somewhere, like on a piece of paper or in a big chart in front of you. 7, 8, 10, till date. Like, it's, unless you have that, you're not gonna.
Right. No, I hear you. I will have 6 booked by our call next week.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. That's easy stuff. It's almost easy, right?
I got another simple win I didn't tell you guys about. I signed up for Churn Buster, and
I thought you signed up for that earlier.
I did, but it hadn't actually gotten. I hadn't gotten
now you have numbers.
Results. But yeah, so like in February, I recovered $828. The recovery rate on Churn Buster is 40.7% on declines.
Oh,
on
wow.
failed payments. So it's pretty good. I mean, I was probably recovering some of it already with auto retries and Stripe, but 25.9% of my recovered payments came from credit card updates, which is an email sending the person to say, hey, can you update your credit card, your payment information? So that's just like automatic free added revenue. I mean, I don't know what Churn Buster was like, maybe less than $100 a month, but they're earning me a lot more than that. So simple.
Nice. And they just kind of do a email follow-up with the customer?
Yeah, they just they retry the credit card. They use the Stripe API to retry the credit card payment at strategic times, and then they send emails. It's just an email sequence, right?
Oh, nice.
What I need to do is actually get Tim to modify the email sequence to customize it a little bit more, to make it more, to put a little bit of copywriting in there to get the card. In fact, I need to throw that on my board here. But yeah, no reason why I don't know why I didn't do it before.
Well, did you know about it all along?
I mean, I heard a churn buster, but I didn't realize what it could do for me. I mean, like, so I figured I might as well try it. There's some other services that do like manual customer retention where they would like contact
Gravy?
them. Yeah, Gravy. I talked to Gravy. Yeah, but they're like $500 a month, so it's not worth it to me yet. If I grew to a certain size, then they would be worth it because I could recover more.
Huh.
The other possibility too is to turn off the ability for members to cancel the membership themselves, and then just to make it so they have to contact support, and then you'd
I
have
hate that.
I know, I hate that. That's why I didn't do that. But at the same time, it might be worth testing to see how much better it works. So
yeah, I mean,
My
if you don't
5-year-old's
like that
trying to
as
get
a,
in here.
if you don't like that as a customer, then you probably don't want that to be the experience for a customer.
yeah, that's true. So
Huh? Oh,
Oh, that's funny. It went through Clubhouse, but I muted on Zoom.
yeah.
That's so funny. Chuck is
gotta
talking
mute
about
both,
all sorts
Chuck.
of trash about John and I, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah, with my daughter.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about this. And the world knows Chuck hates our guts."
Yep.
It's good stuff, guys.
Yeah.
One number.
One number. Oh, the other thing I'm thinking about too is I feel like I do need to split my YouTube channel out to topics as opposed to doing it all. I feel like I'm never going to get traction in the YouTube algorithm if I don't split it out.
What you gonna do?
Separate channels or just separate playlists?
Yeah.
3 channels?
Yeah, probably 3 channels. I mean, what I want to do ideally, like, I'd like to have the main Bulldog Mindset channel probably talking about mindset, like mental toughness, masculinity, like those type of topics, and then have another channel that's dedicated to investing in business and finance, and then I suppose one dedicated to fitness. But I feel like if I'm going to do one dedicated to fitness, I need to get like recording me lifting in the gym. Need to do that on a regular basis because the fitness
You
stuff.
don't really need to do that yet.
Yeah, I don't have to do that yet. I could just break out one of them. And then I would actually like to do a Stoic channel where because I did this commentary on Stoic text, like I was reading through Seneca's letters, and I stopped doing it because it didn't do well on the channel. But then I get so many comments from people that are like, "Oh, why don't you continue this? This was my favorite thing that you ever did." But the problem is that it's just not the right audience match. Like some people really love it. So I think if I did that by itself on the channel, it would do really well. So
That's a tough one.
Yeah. But I feel like the way it is right now, it's just like, well, like take for instance, the interview I did last night with Stephen Pressfield, right? I mean, that's awesome, right? Like that's like fucking awesome content, but people don't know it because they don't know who he is and they don't care because they're idiots. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I just interviewed the Kobe Bryant of of historical fiction, you know what I mean? But everyone's like, I don't know who that guy is, some old guy that John interviewed, right? So that video is not getting very many views, right? Which is like crazy, but it's because it's the wrong audience match. If that were on a video about if that were on a channel dedicated to books or Stoic philosophy or something like that, it would it would do well. So the mix is the problem,
right?
I think is that YouTube, it sends mixed signals to YouTube, and they're like, well, I don't know what his viewers would want. So
I've wondered a little bit about that with like devchat.tv.
It's very true. If I look at your subscribers growth over the last 1 month, it's what you're getting around 2K
Yeah, yeah. At one point I was hitting like 5K, but now it's like down to 2K.
Or 1.5K is what you're getting right now in the last 3
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
That's exactly what I get. But the view count you have is like almost 5 times higher than mine,
But
10
that's
times higher
because
than mine.
of search
Yeah.
traffic. You know, so
Yeah. Mine is very evergreen. Uh, so that changes things as well.
well, what I'm saying is that I have got 3,000 videos on the channel, so I'm getting a
Mm.
bunch of search traffic that ups the views,
Well,
but not the views per video. It's not.
well, the challenge, the question is, why are you getting so much more views but not so many subscribers?
Well, because I see what you're saying. Well, it's because of the mismatch in the.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, there a lot of some of the views are coming from developer content. I mean, I guess I could take off some of those videos and move them to the simple programmer channel. The only problem is that that's like, I hate to take off videos from a channel that, if those videos are doing well. So
Yeah, it's a
Mm.
tough one, man. I mean, but I still think you need something that would help. Um, that would help you to be more. Yeah, you need a way to. But then, I mean, Tony Robbins doesn't have 3 different channels, but Tony Robbins is no good at this either. But Brendan Bouchard doesn't have 2 different channels either. He's
Yeah.
on one end he teaches personal development, but on the other hand he teaches business, and it's like 2 different, completely different things.
Yeah.
But on the YouTube, I feel like Brendan's strategy, no matter how much you hate him or love him, I'm not gonna talk about that. Um, but Brendan's strategy is more like on the public facing, the top end of the funnel is very basic personal growth,
mm,
and then the real money maker is business training, not really personal growth
yeah,
stuff,
exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, if I look at Tony Robbins, he probably doesn't even do YouTube as well.
It
He
doesn't
probably
even matter. Like his YouTube channel is irrelevant because his name is
so
Right.
big that it doesn't even matter.
yeah, it draws people regardless of the content strategy he uses.
Yeah, all of those content strategies are not really ideal for where you are at.
Yeah, so Sean Cottrell, Think Media.
Canal.
Can oh, why do I keep calling him Cottrell? I don't know. But he was talking about how like when his channel when it covered how to grow your YouTube channel and equipment for YouTube, it was too broad. And when he split it to one channel for equipment for YouTube and one for how to grow your YouTube channel, that they both did better. Which, if that's too broad, then I'm really in trouble. You see what I'm saying?
What?
Like,
Hang on. You're only talking about money and business and fitness and girls and lifting and mindset, right? You're
Did
not
you
talking
say
about
growth or
anything.
girls?
I think it's women.
yeah. So yeah, I'm just talking about everything.
Yeah,
So
you're not talking about many things. I mean, sometimes you talk about Donald Trump or sometimes you talk about COVID, but not everything.
yeah, there's less things that I don't talk about than there are things that I are.
But then at some point, like the question becomes, are you, if you operate like that, then you're more of a media person. You're a media celebrity. You're big. You're the news channel, which is cool.
But
That
it's
is
not
what you want to be.
news. It's yeah.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to be, is what
The
I'm saying.
problem is that it's about the YouTube algorithm, and the way that the YouTube algorithm works is that it looks at what content is specific. It tries to categorize your channel and your content and then match you up with the right audience, would show your videos to the right people. And so if it doesn't know because you're all over the place, then you don't get a very good matchup.
So, what do you think, Stephen or Stephen Graham? Like, what he talks about a lot of different things, but I feel like
It's always
he
money
has
though.
it's always money, a very
Yeah.
specific money thing that he's talking about,
Yeah.
and that's where you have everything, and that
Yeah,
is the challenge.
that's why splitting the channel would probably make sense.
I would go with business as the first split because that's the easiest split.
Yeah.
Business and money is the easiest, the most lucrative, the most.
Yeah. Just start a new channel called Bulldog Mindset Money or something like that.
Yeah.
BMF.
Bulldog money mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it needs to be Bulldog Mindset Money though, because it needs to have Bulldog Mindset as the first part, so that when people search for Bulldog Mindset, it comes up. You know what I mean? I've got a Bulldog Mindset Clips channel. It's got like 1,100 subscribers on it, but like a Bulldog Mindset something like money. Yeah, Bulldog Mindset Money. I think that's the most simple, straightforward thing about it.
You
Yeah,
could try it. Just spin one of them off and just see if it gains traction.
Yeah, just start making videos on that channel, and then I could do like, yeah, I could keep the same frequency on my main channel for now and just throw a couple of videos a week on the new channel.
Mm-hmm.
See how that works.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
don't keep the same frequency on the current channel then. Take
Why?
the video that you would have put on the current channel onto the money channel. That's how you will know that your output will yield better results.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
but how do you know you're not picking up subscribers from the original channel?
Which is
Right.
fine. Let them do it.
Well,
Yeah, but my
that's-
point is you want
can't
new
do
growth,
double the
right?
work.
How do you measure new growth?
the,
You can't
the
do double the work.
well, I could do double the work temporarily. I mean, the problem is that if you start a new channel up, you want to get enough videos on there quick enough to accelerate the growth curve on it. You know, if you're doing one video a week on the new channel, it's gonna take a long time before you start to see results, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the right strategy here is, but it'd be interesting to see if it. Yeah.
I am I couldn't comment on organic content growth anymore because I don't really
Yeah, are you ever gonna make a video again?
yeah, I know. It was my experiment for the last 2 months to see what happens.
Yeah, what's
if
happened
I-
to your business since you stopped making videos? Are you still getting
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Has it slowed down at all? Or are you still doesn't matter?
So it's funny, like what has happened is it was like a little experiment just to see how far I could go with this shit. But starting Monday, we're gonna start publishing again. For 2 months, I've published zero content on YouTube on podcast because
And the podcast?
yeah, zero content on either. But our like email list growth has gone down by maybe 5%, 7%. But our revenue hasn't. Revenue is only going up because I'm focusing more of my effort on copy and marketing and all those things. And I've got basically copywriters working with me, doing the work,
Yeah.
copywriting and like sales and marketing and all those things. So I'm like, okay, well, that's working. I know that's never going to be the long-term fix. I just wanted to do this so that I can focus more of my time and energy on ads.
Yeah.
And I'm just probably doing the last few things that I need to do before I go live with my ads. But yeah, I'm waiting on business verification from Facebook.
I didn't know you read Moonwalking with Einstein. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good book. I just saw that on your channel. But well, okay. I mean, well, maybe the answer for you then, like organic wise, is a simple answer. Is like if you can get away with not publishing a video for 2 months, maybe you should publish one video a month, but make it stellar quality. You know what I mean? Like put in the work that you would to produce all the videos for the month into the one video, and basically just make it, you know.
So my current
Manny Valla's hardcore book summary.
Yeah.
History.
What I am thinking or what I'm planning to do now is devote one full day to content production for a month for my end. Then my team can take over. They'll do all the work on the back end, create animation, create whatever they need to do, podcast episodes out of it, YouTube. So whatever I can do in one day, 8 hours of work, create content for the whole month. That's all I'm going to do.
See, I was thinking like I envisioned you like filming on your iPhone or someone filming you as you're like stepping into a helicopter and the chopper is going and you're like, the thing you have to know about ready,
Sales.
fire, aim,
Sales.
right? And then you're the next scene is like you looking at the camera. Well, you've got your parachute strapped to your back, and you're like, I'm gonna tell you these are the 5 things I learned from the book. And then you're like, in a second, and then you jump out, and then while you're like going down at terminal velocity, you're
While
like,
I'm about to die, I talk about how you need to do ready, fire, aim. But yeah, no, it's
You
been
open the chute, land in a Lamborghini.
yeah, exactly.
Ty Lopez and
is there in the
Grant
car.
Cardone is there. They're waiting for me. Talk to me about ready,
Yeah.
fire, aim.
Shaken, not stirred.
But seriously, the only the reason why I wanted to keep I wanted to see what happens in many different ways in the YouTube and the podcast and all those things. But more importantly, I'm like, okay, I don't need to spend more than 1 day a month to create 3 or 4 videos for the channel,
Yeah.
3 or 4 audios for the channel, and that is it. I will not do more than that anymore, because I will not be able to spend that kind of time, given all of the other effort that I have to put in on my sales and marketing sides of the business right now, and even the product creation and fulfillment and all the stuff. So I'm happy. I'm not at all worried about organic growth per se anymore, the way I used to obsess over it. It's good. It is going to slowly not be the most important part of the business as I see it.
Well, that's good if you can.
I don't know how I don't know how ads will play out in the long term. I just don't believe that organic is the path to long term to massive growth for me.
Yeah.
So I am willing to do the work for 1 day a month, but not more than that.
Well, that's good. I mean, you're basically burning the boats on the organic. So you're gonna have to make it work, the ads work, which is good.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, let the organic stuff be and do what it wants to do. I'm gonna go figure out the ads part. I don't want to kill organic. One episode a week is basically all probably I need for the rest of this business to take off and do what it does. Because I have a team that can take that and do whatever I need to do. They can chop it up and do all the other things that I would, same like what you do. But you do what? You do how many videos a week now?
3.
So 12 videos a month.
Yeah, and then I've got a Bulldog Mindset Clips channel. My guy makes 3 or 4 videos on that channel per week.
12 videos a month. Could you realistically just get those 12 videos done in a week, in a day?
Yeah, I could get them done in a day. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, some of it, sometimes I want relevant events, and sometimes I want inspiration for, doing the videos, and also, it does taper off your ability to talk and stuff after so many videos, but I try to do it all in 1 day, right? So I try to do all the content creation for the week in 1 day, right? So Instagram posts, YouTube videos, Bulldog Mindset membership content, that all gets done on Monday.
Oh,
okay. Well, that's not bad, because then it's basically taking you, if you're doing the course content, you're basically doing all the fulfillment work as well there.
Yeah. Mondays are the content days, Thursdays are the coaching days. So that leaves me Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So
I like that. So I am happy to do, I'm basically 1 day a month is all I will or need to do. Or I don't know if need is the right word, but all I'm willing to do at this point, while I focus on growing the business through other means.
All right, we should probably wrap it up. Do our thoughts.
Yep.
Okay, my thought is that in the early phases of building a business, the most important thing a business needs to do is focus on sales, 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 and more sales. Marketing is good, but sales is their ultimate game at this stage. Like marketing is important, but sales is critical. And sales is the last mile between marketing and money. So marketing by itself can sometimes lead you astray. The idea that, oh, I've got an email marketing funnel and I'm hoping that people will come through it and I'll make the sales and this and that. But unless you really obsess over sales conversions and sales metrics and all of that, it is never good enough.
Mine is the key to business is to find one thing that works and do it over and over again. That's it. It's as simple as that. Every single successful business follows that model to some degree. Sometimes they have more than one thing, but if you just find one thing and then repeat it over and over again, that's as simple as business is. And that's why franchises are worth money. It's the only reason why franchises are worth money, because the entire value of a franchise is that they've created a system, which is basically a way of doing one thing, and its ability to do it over and over again.
Nice. My thought it's interesting because I came into this thinking that things were going to go a different way, which they always do in anything that looks anything like a mastermind, right? You come in thinking I'm going to get this problem solved, and then you wind up getting a completely different problem solved, which is the thing that you need solved. And that was that I didn't realize how big a blind spot I had with regards to, my selling ability, right? I'd get on a call and I'd probably sell a reasonable number of, sponsorships, in the past. And yeah, I could never actually boil down to you what worked and what didn't. And, doing the sales calls one-on-one to try and get people to sign up for the coaching, right? So I could help them out. And it's not so much even that, I do want them to sign up and I do want their money, but I really feel like I can make a difference for them. I feel like I can make a difference for the community. And I want a group of influencers out there in the dev and tech community that are going to help build things up, because I feel like some of the influencers out there are keen on canceling people and tearing people down. And so, I want to build that too. And so I have these ulterior motives that I feel like I benefit from, and that the community benefits from, and that the people I'm helping benefit from. And so, anyway, it's been interesting just kind of looking at it. And yes, I can help them out. I can get them what they want, and they will benefit much more greatly than what they're paying for what they're going to get. But that's not enough, right? I need these skills. And so just having somebody point out this massive blind spot for me this week was kind of a big win. And then, yeah, just looking at, okay, so what are my options for this training, right? And looking at, okay, so, do I go look at, I think you guys listed like Brian Tracy or Dan Locke or Grant Cardone or whatever else, Manny's going to send me some training, but, this is my opportunity. And I'm probably going to kind of do an intensive, just, get up a little earlier every day and do an intensive and go and level up on these skills so that I can nail it, right? Because it's not just enough to have the blind spot pointed out. It's also you have to go do the work to overcome it. And so that's my thought, is just, yeah, get some people who are willing to point out and say, hey, look, you got to do better here. And then be willing to go do the work to do better, right? To figure it out. If you want things to change, that's the only way it happens. It doesn't happen when somebody goes, hey, you got to do better. And you're like, okay. And it doesn't happen when, you realize you've got to do better. It doesn't happen either when you just kind of go along and you just do the same thing over and over again. It happens when you realize that you need to change something, and then you go do the work to change something. And I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in the either, okay, well, eventually I'll figure it out, or people kind of coast along and expect things to get better. And yeah, the world's constantly changing. So eventually your circumstances will change and something will be different. But it may not be what you want, and it may not be what you need. And so if you want to take control of things, then you've got to actually go and do the work.
100%. I agree.
All right, guys. Good stuff.
All right. See you guys next week.